Thing that motivates us. It's all about contributing to our well-being, to our wellness in life. And my opinion is that if we live a life with purpose, we're already halfway there. Well, welcome. Good afternoon, fabulous people who are following Wednesdays with Wallis. More and more of you are coming on board, and that's exciting and fabulous. My heart says thank you so much, so very much. This is Wednesdays with Wallis. I'm your host, Wallis Patterson. What's the topic for today? Easy. I'm grateful, but I'm done. We're going to come back to that. What's that mean? She's always throwing in these things. What do they mean? Well, I'm going to come back and tell you what it means, but I want to first, I've been doing some videos on this whole area of manifesting because I think, look, here's the thing. I think that having a side hustle, I think having ways to earn money is fantastic. And by the way, it doesn't have to be just one thing. It can be many things that you're earning money out of. You might start something and you might scale it and it becomes something a bit bigger, and then you might do some joint ventures within that. You know, if you feel inspired and if you're an entrepreneur like me or you're very entrepreneurial, you might go, well, I'm going to start with this, but what I'd really love is this. And that's fabulous. If you're one of those people, welcome. I am so excited by that. Okay, so finding, uncovering, discovering something to earn money out of is not difficult. Okay, I want you to know that. That's not the challenging part. That's not the difficult part. The difficult part is the next thing I'm going to talk to you about. The difficult part, and the reason I'm into manifesting, because I'm wanting to share what I'm manifesting as well, which I think is most helpful, and that's exciting as well because we're on a journey, you and I, we're on a journey together. And that's exciting, isn't it, to have somebody else to journey with. If you're going to go away and you're going to go somewhere or you're going to do something, how much nicer is it to have company or to have somebody else to throw your ideas around with or to work with? Well, that's me. That's what I'm about, right? I'm here for you, and I'm here to help you get your head around this, get your heart around it, get your feelings around it. Okay, so the first thing is, number one, choose to put yourself out there in the world. Choose to do things differently. Different than maybe anybody else around you. Different than your family. Different than those people who you mix with. Different. Choose to do things differently. Why am I saying this and why am I highlighting it? Highlight. I'm putting a big highlighter underneath it. Choose to do things differently. And there's a really good reason for this. If you are doing things the same way or in the same way as your friends, your family, the people you associate with, the club that you're in, for whatever, if the people, your circle of people, you're doing the same things as they're doing, well, then you're in a situation where you're going to have the same as what they've got. Does that make sense? I hope this is making sense to you, because it's called manifesting. And what you put out for, what you focus on, the people you associate with, the things that are said to you. I'm going to give you an example of this in a minute, but all those things shape your reality. They shape what you think. They shape what you're about. They shape what you get. Example. Let's say that you decide that you're going to go skiing. Now, you've never been skiing before. You don't know how to ski, but you're all excited about it and positive. And you get to the ski resort or the mountain or wherever it is that you're going to be skiing, and you're excited. You're in anticipation of this being a terrific experience. You're really, really looking forward to it, and you think you'll be good at it. You get a phone call. A friend calls you, says, hey, what are you doing? Oh, I've just arrived at the ski resort. I'm going skiing for the first time. I'm really excited about it. Oh my God, you're going skiing? Oh, take care, won't you? Yeah, really be careful, because, people have really bad accidents at skiing, and, they really hurt themselves. And I don't want to see you hurt yourself. So, just be really careful. Take it easy. Don't, just, don't do anything silly. Just get home in one piece. And this is the conversation. And they leave the telephone call, and you're standing there going, oh, oops. Oh, well, what now? How do I feel about skiing now? Well, it's negative. It's dangerous. High probability of hurting yourself, which isn't going to be enjoyable. And you've spent quite a bit of money, on getting there and putting, hiring the equipment or doing whatever it is. Maybe you wouldn't even bought the damn stuff. Suddenly it's all changed. Why? Because somebody, a friend, a well-meaning friend, not downing them, well-meaning, they've called you and they've swapped you around. They've changed your mindset. And in changing your mindset, they've changed your feelings. So how do you feel now? Well, you don't feel so positive, and you don't feel so excited about it, because the excitement's turned to apprehension. Get that? The excitement you had around it in anticipation is now apprehension. Two different things. You were really positive about it to begin with. You were looking forward to being really good at this. How do you feel now? Well, you're just a beginner, and you're going to fall overhead, and you're probably going to hurt yourself. You could do your knee in, and, you could be carted off in an ambulance or something. So one extreme to the other, but you can see what I'm getting at here. You no longer feel the way you did when you got out of your car, got to the resort, picked up all your goodies, got on the chairlift, and decided that this was going to be an amazing experience for you. What changed? The input, somebody's comments, another well-meaning person. So does that apply to our life as well? You betcha. Have I been affected like that myself? So many times I can't even count, where I've gone off feeling like, yes, kick ass on this, only to find myself in a very, very different space because I've shared the idea with someone, or a well-meaning person has given me their opinion. Can I say this in my video? Opinions are like bums. Everybody's got one. I hope you get a laugh out of that, because it's absolutely true. And you need to tell yourself that, or something similar to, that's going to be a bit sobering when all the well-meaning and all the opinions come at you. You've got to go back to, well, does that mean anything to me, and what does that mean? And will that put me off? So doing things differently, that's one of them, isn't it? Don't listen to everybody around you. Don't take on board what everybody else is predicting. Don't take on board everybody else's opinions, or you'll never manifest a damn thing. I'll come back to you in another couple of years. You'll still be rowing the same boat. And I don't want you to be doing that. I believe that you can change that with the things that I'm saying to you. So do things differently. Okay, 1, say to yourself, what do I want? What do I want? Do you know what you want? Say it out loud. Write it on a bit of paper. Put it on a little, card. What do you want? What do I want? Never mind about the people who say, oh, to get it, it's got to be realistic. To get it, you've got to, don't make it too big. To hell with all that bullshit. Make it big. Be big. Think big. Make it big. And then, it's like the old thing, isn't it? Aim for the moon, you miss, you'll still be among the stars. Make it big. Because if you make it big and you don't reach that in this step, you'll still be overjoyed and over the moon about what you have done and where you have reached. And then you've solved some things, you've learned some things, you've understood some things, you've manifested this much, you'll know how to get and how to do the rest. And it'll also give you time to think about, is that it? Look, in my life, I've told myself there's a lot of things. The amount of things I thought I wanted. Not needed, wanted. There's a whole lot of difference there. Don't get into the comparisons between need and want. It's very different. You need to eat every day too to, stay alive. But wanting is a little bit different thing. The sort of food you want is a bit different than the need of having to eat. Get that? I won't go into that, but you know what I'm talking about here. So I want you to think about, what do I want? And as I said, I've been in a position where I thought I wanted a lot of different things, but along the way, I've learned and I've sorted myself, understood myself better, to a point where I go, no, I actually don't want those things, or I don't want all of that, but I do want this. I want these things. Remember we talked about money needing containers? Well, they're the containers. What are you putting the money into? And while I'm at it, I'm going to throw this in. If your goal is to be a millionaire, and it's a conscious choice being a millionaire, because money's an energy, it's a conscious choice. You make the choice to be a millionaire or not. And it's okay whichever way that goes. You don't have to do it because that's what people talk about being or becoming or whatever. You're doing it because it's a burning desire and something you want, because you've sorted out the containers and what you need into those containers. And if that's $1 million, then I'm really, really supporting you. Hell yeah, I support you. But I'm also pushing a little on this, leaning in on be a conscious millionaire, will you? What does that mean? It means that you're not just thinking about the material things. It's not just about the house, the car, the trinkets, the baubles. It's not, the nice pens, the watches. It's not just about those things. Have those things. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute you're not to have them. I want you to have them. There's things I want too, or I've wanted and I've gotten because I wanted it. The trinkets, the baubles, the bits and bobs, and, but along the way, it can't be just about those things. So choose to be a conscious millionaire, meaning that there's got to be a container over here that serves humanity. Now, that may be starting with the people around you and some help. It may be forget about all the nonsense, all the family crap. Forget about all the little in your head. Oh, they don't do it. Forget about all that crap. I'm talking about the energy of it, helping the people around you, helping your community, being able to then go out into the world at large and help the world as you scale what it is you're doing upwards. Now, what it is you're doing might start off with a business, as I said, that you begin, and then you find in a little while that business, you can scale it, or you can do partnerships with other people, working with other people, creating partnerships, having creative joint ventures, is co-creating, is one of the fundamental laws of our universe that we're not taught. Well, we won't talk about that today. And we talked about the containers. What will I do when I get the money? So I'm coming back to this, I'm suggesting you be a conscious millionaire and making sure you've got a container that serves people, serves humanity, serves communities. That may be something overseas. I worked one time, not as a job, but on a mentor basis. I was very, very interested in foreign exchange, and still am, and love the whole thing. Mind-boggling, love. And I won't tell you the man's name because I don't think that's right that I particularly share his name, but I just want to mention that this man, who earns extraordinary amounts of money, trading in foreign exchange and teaching it. He's been doing it for pretty much most of his life. He's been doing it for probably, 35 years anyway. And lovely man. But you can see with him, when I look at him, I go, I can see where he developed the containers, and one of those is giving back. And he has a project in the Philippines. And one time when the Philippines got hit with, a tsunami and wiped out whole areas and all that sort of thing, him and his team went in there and they cleared a whole area and they created a whole village, really. They put up loads and loads of fantastic houses, all able to withstand in the future, high winds and storms. And he created, and he was putting in, a bakery, and he was doing amazing things. He was on the next, soon as the thing happened, he was on a plane the next day on his way there to orchestrate rebuilding and housing and putting a roof over people's heads. And that's what I'm talking about, being a conscious millionaire. Now, maybe to begin with, you can't do it on that level, which is why I've said, at least start with, pardon me, at least start with, your family, or start with your community, start with the things around you that you can make a difference to. So have a container, or several you might want, but have areas that cater for that. It can't be just about the baubles and the trinkets, or you'll end up down the line, as I have seen people do. Their lives are hollow and empty, and it doesn't matter how much money they have and how many more things they buy themselves, how much more jewelry, how many more houses, how much more they add into their coffers. Pardon me, they're not happy. And in fact, they're very, very empty, and they just don't. The other thing that I faced for myself in the beginning, and I did this on and off for a long time, I struggled with, would I choose to be where I wanted to be? And I used to get to a certain point and I'd step back on that. Why did I step back on it? Well, I had some hang-ups around it. Really didn't believe I could have it. Couldn't get past that barrier of belief. Pardon me. Couldn't get past why me, which comes down to being good enough, doesn't it? So it took me a long time. So if you're struggling, the reason I'm relating myself to this is because I want you to know that we all struggle. We don't just find ourselves sailing into this and sailing out of it. It's not true. We all struggle. We all have our setbacks. We all have, those things that we've got to cope with and get over. And we all have that. We all do. Because why? Because that's the whole point of it. The contrast, the learning, if we didn't have light, if we were living in the dark and we never saw light, we wouldn't know what it was to be in light, because we've got daytime and it hits nighttime. We understand the contrast of the difference between day and night. That's life. We need the contrast in things. So if we start off and we don't have a lot of money, it's okay. If you start off and you don't have no money, well, that's okay too. But it's not indicative of where you'll be if you get this into your feelings. If you decide what it is you want, that's a biggie. Deciding on what you want is a big thing, and where you want to be. Where do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? Dream big. Dream big. Don't go, oh, well, this will be enough. Because already in there, you're creating limitations. And in relation to that, I'm going to stretch you a little bit here. In relation to that, you're also going to create smaller containers. That. Get that? You're going to create smaller containers. And you'll struggle, you will struggle to create some bigger ones because you're so used to having a minimum standard, I'll call it. You're so used to this being your minimum standard. You're living. And my question is, are you living to your minimum standard? Are you living to your comfort, to not only your mental but your feelings? Are you living within the context, and then come up with lots of excuses why that's so? And I've heard all those, God. I've said them to myself and I hear them constantly from other people. So what's your minimum standard? And I want you to look at that and I want you to raise it. How do you raise it? Go back to this whole thing of choosing to do things differently. Because, you know, if you keep doing that, whatever that result is from that, it'll persist. Okay? Back to the topic for today. I'm grateful, but I'm done. So will you now say to yourself, well, I'm done. I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. And I got to that stage recently. And I'm good. I'm good. Everything's good. You know, I can make some choices. I can do some things. It's good. It's good. Other people would probably look at it and go, well, what more do you want? What else? You know, surely you don't want any more. They don't understand. They only see it as trimmings and baubles, and they don't understand that if we get to a point where we create a minimum standard for ourselves and it's at this level and other people's comments are in relation to that, we know we can do more. We know we want more, and we know we can do more, and we know we can achieve more, and we know we can create some more containers. We know that we can be a conscious millionaire. We know we can help more people. And it's not about having enough money to be comfortable and do the things that you want. But if you had $1 million, if you had 2 or 3 or 5, if you had $1 million and you could scale upwards from there, you know, there are people who have got a whole bunch more than that, and they're saying to themselves, I'm really grateful, but I'm done with where I am. So are you done with where you're at? Because this has been about, if you're done with where you're at, go back to the beginning. Go back to having a vision, an inspired vision, a vision that's got fire under it, a vision that, you know, you walk, talk, eat, you can't get it out of your mind, you're constantly thinking about it, and it's you can almost touch it and eat it and feel it. And you know why? You know why that's so? Because you already have it. You already have it in your future. How far in your future? I don't know. I don't know. But give it time, will you? I don't want you to turn around and go in a week or 2 weeks or 3 months or 6 months or even 12. I don't want you turning around and saying, I didn't get that, because you don't know when it comes. But keep it alive, keep it firing, keep it burning, keep it going. Don't give up on it and fall back. Remind yourself that you're raising this minimum standard for yourself. You're going beyond that. Don't be the flea in the bottle, even when the lid's off, they only go so far and come back. Don't do that. Will you? Don't do it. I'm grateful, but I'm done. Will you say that to yourself? We're going to come back to this because, boy, oh boy, I'm very, very excited about this whole area of manifesting. And before I go, I just want to tell you this. I'll bring you up to date with where I'm at with it, what I've been doing, so what's been happening since 2 weeks ago, right? 2 weeks ago. If you haven't watched that video, a couple of weeks ago, when I started 3 weeks or whatever, I started talking about this. I got up one morning and I was in that stage. I was in that phase. I was in that. I'm really, really grateful for everything I have. Love, love, love. Oh, love. Thank the universe so much for everything I have. But I'm done with that. I wanted more. I wanted different. I wanted to move to the next level. I wanted to have a new and different experience for my life, a bigger, newer and different experience. So I set out with that thought to translate to the feelings around it. And I've been doing what I'm telling you, okay? I've been doing exactly the same things I'm telling you I've been doing. So what's been happening for me? Okay, well, things around me have gained more clarity. The business, the things I'm going, the direction in which I'm going, the things that are happening. Emails have been coming out of the blue with people that are wanting to talk with me, and things that people are, just lots of stuff's coming. I'm being able to tap into things. Mentorship has been happening for me. The big thing that's happened, I don't want to dwell on this because I haven't got a lot of time, but I just want you to know that the big thing that's happened, and you'll know if and when this happens for you, and you will if you're attuned to it. But what's been really happening for me is I have felt a huge energy shift in my body, in myself. I can't explain it in any other words other than I know. I know that the shift that's happened for me is directly linked into, related to, and part of the visioning, part of my getting up that morning and saying to myself, this is what I want, and believing, choosing to do things differently, and believing that was possible, instead of pulling back to the minimum. Oh no, everything's good. I'm okay. I have enough money. It's all good. It's all great. What else? What the hell else? That was the minimum. But no. I have a bigger vision, so I started to create the containers around that. So I want you to know that when you do it, at some time, you'll start getting the input you need. You'll start getting the emails that arrive. You'll start getting the people that arrive to help you along the way with that. You'll start getting all that you need to move into that. I nearly swore then. It's bloody exciting. It's just fabulous when it happens. And I have this anticipation. I expect more and more and more of that sort of things happening. And I know I'm different. I know I feel different about it. And I'm bloody excited. So I'm going to leave you with that. And we're going to talk more about this on Wednesdays with Wallis. I hope you're getting something out of it, because that's the whole purpose of all this, is for me to share with you my journey and for it to hopefully have a positive effect on yours, an impact on yours, and help you know that you're not alone. We're all on this journey together. Go out there, share your light, share your enthusiasm, share what it is that you're doing, be positive, and ignite your big dream. Will you do that for me? And I'll talk to you next week on Wednesdays with Wallis. Don't forget to subscribe. We need you. I need you. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.